Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street. And with me on the show is Shail Bhatnagar as well. Well, we look at the markets. They've rebounded pretty smartly in trade towards the second half, especially right now when you see the Nifty is up by about 127 odd points. You can see a 21,744 level on the Nifty. It's the banking space that's taking the front seat today, 1.5% higher for the Nifty Bank. That's now back above, up 45,000, 526 odd levels. That's a 650 point of a jump on the Nifty Bank. Leading the show are definitely the private sector banks and the PSU banks, also the financial services. All three constituents doing very well at this point in time. Most of the sectors have also seen buying emerge from the lowest point of the day. So you do have, a buying seen on the healthcare pack, the IT pack, consumer durables. Even the oil and gas and the FMCG space are seeing some kind of ticks on the upside right now. Of course, the PSU banks is definitely one space that continues to hog all the limelight. The PSU stocks, including Coal India, that's the one that's shining the brightest, 4% higher in trade, a very strong move on the upside. UPL, ICICI Bank, SBI Life Insurance, HDFC Life, Axis Bank, Wipro, these are the kind of names that are doing very well at this point in time. Shail, looks like the dips have been bought into.
Yes, Sakshi, and a very good afternoon to you, to all our viewers as well. It's essentially a change in sentiment that's being witnessed on Dalal Street, and we had pointed to this trend also yesterday afternoon when we had said that selective buying is happening in quality PSU stocks. Never mind that they are in that low beta, high beta, low ticket items. Some of them are actually gaining a lot of strength. And Sakshi, that's coming on very, very heavy volume. Let's look at the most active counters on the National Stock Exchange, and let's try and trim them based on how their prices have moved. The top traded counter is NHPC, about 4.5% higher, and at 84.65, it is almost doing the best it can do in terms of an intraday high. And the most exciting part actually is that the low for today on NHPC was 77.50. Look at IRFC. This is perhaps the star of the show, along with several other railway stocks. IRFC is now up almost 12%, 148.75. The early morning low was 127.65. Look at RVNL, 246 for you at the moment, 7% higher. The low is 223. IRCON 208.15, 7% higher. It's recovered very sharply from an intraday low of early morning 191. And this is across the space. Even if those stocks that are down, for instance, look at NBCC, it is still trading 7% lower at 123.55, but it's above 120.75 early morning low. SGVN 5% lower, 106.70, but the morning low is 100.65. The point I'm trying to make is that there is a sensible set of very intelligent traders who's actively bought this dip over the last 2 or 3 days. They waited for sensible pricing to come. They waited for froth to go away. And now within the PSU banking basket, as also the wider public sector enterprising basket, you see these high beta, low ticket items making a very, very strong comeback. On the long side, you have, of course, TCS and Oracle Finance. These are two counters that are at record highs within the Nifty on the green side, and Hindalco is in pain. The pain is more because of its US subsidiary Novelis rather than its earnings. The earnings were fantastic, actually.
Okay, let's now welcome our guest on the show. Osho Krishnan now joins in, Senior Research Analyst, Technical Research at Angel One. Welcome, Osho. Good to have you with us on Business Today. Tell us what's the sense that you have on the markets. It was seeming to be perhaps another day that would go to the bears, but looks like we made a smart rebound right there on the back of select pockets that are seeing sharp buying interest emerge from the lower levels.
Very good afternoon, Shakshi and Shell. Well, now coming to the today's development, what we have seen that yesterday Bank Nifty was at a very critical zone of 200-day SMA, and today there has been a strong support on the banking front. All the private sector banks and the NBFCs have given a very strong movement, not a very strong movement, but they have given a proper cushioning to our market, because of which we are able to witness some kind of sustenance even after having a strong plunge from the yesterday session. Even one should not be very much forget about the movement of Reliance, because that has done a very strong index management for today's session when the other sectors were not performing well, especially the metal sector. Reliance has kept the market on the higher end. But for now, there has been some turnaround on the sentiments front. A lot of counters are witnessing a strong buying traction. And once again, Nifty is moving towards the resistance zone of 21,780 to 21,800 on spot levels. So at these levels, again, one can see some kind of cool off in the market. So one should not be having or carrying very aggressive long positions from here onwards, because there has been some strong confined range movement in Nifty in the last 3 to 4 trading sessions. On the higher end, 21,800 is acting as the very strong resistance zone. On the lower end, 21,650 to 600 is the immediate support zone that one can expect some kind of buying traction. But definitely both the players, both the counterparties are playing their role. The bears are also on a very strong note. They are selling in the market, and even the buyers are also gauging or arguing well for the buyers when there is any kind of dips that can be seen. So there is both way movement that can be seen. One have to be very much precise with the movement, and stock selection is very apt in such kind of market conditions.
Okay. All right. Any two stock ideas, Osho, that you can share with our viewers?
Yes, on technical basis, we are witnessing very strong movement in Voltas. Voltas is near the zone of 1100 on spot levels, and we can expect a breakout in the coming session. So one can even buy Voltas at current levels. 1098 is the current spot price. So one can definitely try to accumulate this counter. On the higher end, one can expect 1140 to 1150 as a target on immediate basis. So this is on a verge of breakout. One should definitely try to gauge the momentum. For short-term traders, 1070 should be the stop loss that one should keep for their trading setup. The other counter which is looking very positive is from the mid-cap IT space. Emphasis has been consolidating from over 2 weeks as of now, but it is on a very strong note. It is holding the zone of 2600 odd level. So one should definitely try to gauge the coming momentum in Emphasis. So 2620, 2625 is the zone where one should try to accumulate this counter. For short-term traders, 2550 should be kept as the stop loss, and on the higher end, 2700 is the first target. But breaching 2700, one can expect a strong momentum in the coming period. So Emphasis in the coming period can give a very strong movement from here onwards.
Okay, Sakshi, let's pay attention to what the big boys are doing. Remember, look at Nifty Bank, 45,500 for you. This is 601 points higher, and this is a mild profit booking that's happened from an intraday high of about 45,750. So a 300 point cut has come from the top. So you can well imagine the index was up 900 points. Now, what is running this momentum? It's of course ICICI Bank and Axis Bank, both up respectively 2.5% and 2%. We've seen HDFC Bank about 0.7% higher, and State Bank of India is trying to regain its mojo again above 700. What's buzzing really well Well, it's Punjab National Bank, 4% higher. This is a stock that I failed to mention in the morning. Look at the low, 115 rupees 70 paisa, and the high that is at the moment, which is 123.50. So this is a strong move coming in. This is also accompanied by a very decent downtick in open interest on PNB. Let's get Osho's view in. Osho, short covering happening on PNB. Open interest down 3%, the counter up 4.3%. What are the charts telling you?
See, overall, there has been a strong traction in PSU banks in the recent period. So one can definitely witness some kind of profit booking in these counters. But coming to the yesterday's development, there has a strong short addition that can be seen in PNB or major of the PSU banks. So today, if there is any kind of upsurge that can be seen, again, that's a development on short-term perspective, but on the longer or broader term view, 126, 127 remains a very strong resistance for this counter. On the lower end, 112 and 110 should be acting as the support zone. So one should definitely try to gauge momentum once there is any kind of further dip towards the zone of 112, 110 odd levels. On the higher end, one should definitely try to book their profits near the zone of 127, 128 odd levels.
Okay, Sakshi, Eicher Motors earnings are out. Third quarter consolidated net profit is 1,000 crores versus 740 crores. The estimate was 964, so it's a beat. The stock is already 1.5% higher at 3,923. Motorcycle total sales were to the extent of about 76,187 units versus 74,150 units. Again, the January sales are much ahead of estimates. We are getting the third quarter EBITDA as well. That number, just let me update you for the moment. Osho, a very quick view on what Eicher Motors is telling you as far as charts are concerned. And the EBITDA numbers are with us. Third quarter EBITDA is 1,090 crores versus 860 crores. And margin is 26.1% in the third quarter versus 23.0%, slightly lower than the estimate of 27. Osho, running away Eicher, 3930.
See, the broader view for Eicher remains very positive because if I'll be looking on a certain broader time frame, then it has seen a retest of the neckline from where it has shown a breakout around the zone of 3600 odd levels. There it has retested from the highs of 4150 and again is gaining some traction. Yes, there will be some kind of volatility that can be seen in today's and even the follow-up session, but on the higher end, overall view remains positive. The time it surpasses the zone of 3950 odd levels on the spot zone, then we can see some strong buying traction in this counter, and again it has the potential to reach towards the zone of 4100, 4150 in the coming period. While on the downside, the downside is very much limited. 3750 is the immediate support zone. So any dip towards the zone of 3750 should be auguring well for this counter. On the higher end, 3950 is the immediate resistance. Once we witness a breakout, then from there onwards there will be approximately 200 to 250 odd points kind of a rally that can be seen in this counter.
Okay. Well, that's as far as Eicher Motors is concerned after the earnings. It's still up about 0.5% in trade. What about railway pack? Osho, if you can look at some of the stocks that are running away today, IRFC, RVNL, IRCON, after a gap, they're all back up in trade today. Would you like to track any of these on charts and tell us, where there is enough and more potential even to be tapped at these current levels?
See, as of now, majority of the railway pack has been seen, is under some profit booking kind of a scenario, because if I'll be talking about IRFC or RVNL, both the counters have seen approximately 50% correction from the higher levels. So even at current levels also, one should not become very much complacent with the up move that this will continue, because this being a counter which consolidates for a longer duration, it gives a very strong move and then again re-enters into time-wise or price-wise corrective phase. So now it has entered into a time-wise correction phase. For RVNL, I can assume that 215 to 220 should be acting as the support zone, while on the higher end, approximately 270 should be acting as the first immediate resistance for this counter. So majority of the railway pack should be now consolidating over a period of time. Once the technical parameter cools off or they comes towards the zone of comfortable zone or even towards the oversold territory, then from there onwards one can look for buying opportunity in these counters.
Okay. Right, so that's as far as the view coming in on railway pack is concerned. What about the power space? You know, we've seen a stunning move on Coal India again, 4.5% of an uptick that's coming in. Of course, we're looking at some moves coming in on NHPC, NTPC. Again, today REC is back up in trade. That's the entire, power space for you. Even NLC India, that's the one that's shot up very, very sharply. How would you really look at these particular names and anything that strikes you at the current levels?
See, firstly, all the power sectors from broader time view is looking very lucrative. But in the recent period, definitely we can witness some kind of correction in all the mentioned counters. Because if I'll be talking firstly about Coal India, then in the past 3 days we have seen some kind of short build up. But after the result, yes, there has been a strong resurgence that can be seen in this counter. But on the higher end, 450-60 odd zone should be acting as a very strong resistance. On the lower end, once it retests the zone of 21-day exponential moving average, which as of now is somewhere around 418 to 420 odd levels, then from there onwards, we can witness some kind of buying traction in this counter. Overall, as you mentioned that all the power companies like NTPC, Power Grid, all those companies are again facing some kind of profit booking for the time being, and which should be considered healthy also, because after having a rally, because if I'll be talking about Power Grid, it has seen a very strong rally from the zone of 240 towards near about 300 odd level. So one should definitely try to gauge the momentum again once there is a bit of cool off happened in these counters. So as of now, for Power Grid, 260, 255 is the immediate support zone, but this cannot sustain. If it does not sustain over these levels, then again in further levels also one can see 250 levels to be seen in this counter, and from there onwards one can definitely see a buying traction in power segments. So overall the undertone remains bullish, but one should not become very much aggressive in accumulating these counters. Rather than one should try to accumulate all the power sectors in a staggered manner.
Okay. Sakshi, let's look at the pain points in the market. We've been harping on the fact that the low has been purchased in select counters. Well, that is true, but some of them continue to be in pain, and in particular BHEL. Let's get the chart in front of us. This is the third day of loss on BHEL, and the Sthiti is over the last 2 or 3 minutes getting worse. So from 205 rupees 45 paisa, the stock has dropped substantially, 201 rupees 35, and the size of the deals is slightly worrisome. Over the last 7 odd trading sessions, the losses are now increasing. The counter is now trading at the lowest since 23rd of July. Let's look at how the open interest is stacked as far as BHEL is concerned. I'm sure this is a pain point. Okay, open interest is actually 10% higher, so a lot of shorts are getting built into the system. This is going to be painful in the coming few days as well. Osho, what is BHEL trying to tell you on the charts?
See, for BHEL, if I'll draw the Fibonacci retracement, then it has not even retraced 38.2% from the rally from the zone of nearly 120 to 240 odd levels. So there is plenty of downside that can be seen in this counter. Yes, there has been some aggressive short formation that can be seen in the last 2 to 3 trading sessions, but overall one should maintain a kind of sidelines for this counter in the near period, because 200 being the psychological mark can provide some kind of sustenance or support for this counter. But after breaching 200, it has the next support lies around 190 to 192 odd levels. So definitely the counter can retouch the zone of 190-92 in the coming period, and post that one have to review whether to accumulate this counter on a further notice or the further perspective, or to wait for the 50% retracement, which is around 180 odd levels.
Right.
So actually, the other worrying point is that the volume of BHEL is 814 crore rupees. This is about 100 crores more than the 5-day average. So this loss actually on BHEL is not only problematic from the point of view of percentage fall, but also the volume that is accompanying this fall. Sakshi.
Shell, this is also as a result of the earnings that the BHEL has just reported, in which the company has reported a loss of 149 crores. So on a consolidated basis, from profits of 42 crores that were reported in the corresponding period last year, it's now reported a 149 crore rupees of a loss, and that is perhaps a reason why we are seeing a sharp reaction on the stock as well today. So that's as far as BHEL is concerned for you all at this point in time. Let's further look at some of the other stocks then at this point. Banking space, let's look at that, Osho. Tell us PSU banks versus private banks, where are you tilting in favor right now? Because both the cylinders are looking promising at this stage in time. PSU banks have had the preference from investors for a long time. The private sector banks have just started to pick up some interest. So where exactly do you see more promise on the charts?
See, overall, from here onwards, as a fresh trader, one should definitely should be keen on the private sector banking, because most of the private sector banking are at their very strong support zone. Because if I'll be talking about Bank Nifty only, so Bank Nifty is around the 200-day SMA, which historically has been seen as a very strong support zone. So majority of the private banking which has not performed well in the recent period, while PSU banks have seen a very drastic up move in the overall 1 to 2 trading months. So comparatively, for a fresh trader, one should definitely try to gauge momentum in the coming period over the private sector banks. I'm not saying that from here onwards there will be some U-shape recovery that can be seen, but most of the counter which have seen a very strong sell-off, they can witness some kind of gradual up move on the higher end. Because Bank Nifty, if I'll be saying, then Bank Nifty can gain strong traction once it sustains above the zone of 46,200. So from 46,200, if there will be strong movement in Bank Nifty, if we are expecting a strong movement in Bank Nifty, then it should be driven by the private sector banks and even the NBFC. So one should definitely have their keen interest towards those sectors.
Okay. Right. So that's as far as the banking space is also concerned. Let's look at how the markets are shaping up in the F&O space. We did mark Oracle Financial Services right in the morning as well. The stock was up and about. You can now see Alchem Laboratories, UPL, Punjab National Bank, GMR Airports Infra, Cholamandalam Finance. These are the kind of stocks that are taking some entry into the F&O moving space as well. City Union Bank and RBL Bank also are moving up in trade, along with HDFC Asset Management Company, Indian Energy Exchange. These are the kind of stocks that are buzzing anywhere between 5 to 6% in the F&O space as well. Osho, anything in the F&O space that looks promising to you at this point? Any particular stocks right there that you are keeping a keen eye on?
See, overall, there has been strong traction in the IT space. So I'm more focused on the IT space as of now. The mid cap and large cap ITs both are looking very positive. From large cap, HCL Tech has given a breakout above the zone of 1600. There has been no such movement in today's session, but overall structure is very bullish. Even as you call about TCS has given a very strong breakout, and it is consolidating at a higher zone. So from here onwards, if we witness a very strong traction in companies like TCS and HCL Tech, then we can witness a very strong upsurge movement in the overall market sentiments. So TCS, HCL Tech from the large cap is looking very positive, and from the mid cap, Emphasis and Coforge are looking very positive in the IT sectors.
Sakshi, let's shift focus to some other sectors where you see strong momentum building in alongside the broader themes of hotels. Taj GVK is doing pretty well. This is 337.20 for you, and yes, it's just trying to make a fresh record high after 2-day fall. 9% higher is the counter. and we are seeing a volume of about 36-37 crore rupees, which is fairly substantial. It's almost now trying to climb the 5-day average. This is a stock which is doing pretty well in the unusual set of stocks that we don't look at. The other counter which is showing a fairly decent up move is a small company called SML Isuzu. This is a truck maker, and it's trying to negate a 3-day fall. 1533 for you, and this is somewhere like 4% higher. These are the two stocks I wanted to mark. These are accompanied by fairly decent volumes. Another company is DCM Shriram Industries. This counter is at the moment trading at a fresh high, almost 204 rupees 25 paisa. We normally don't discuss these stocks, I'm just marking them on air. And DCM Shriram Industries at the moment has a fairly decent volume of roughly 5,80,000 shares. Some PMS schemes generally prefer such stocks because of the kind of moves and the kind of businesses that these companies are. Sadly, mutual funds don't like them much because of the liquidity concerns. Sakshi.
Okay, so those are some of the momentum stocks. At this point in time, we'd like to thank you, Osho, for being with us and sharing wonderful ideas with all of us, and hope you have a great day ahead, and we will see you very soon back on Business Today. We'll take a short break, ladies and gentlemen, right now. When we return, we will also be joined by Ratnesh Goel, Head of Technical Research at Arihant Capital Markets, to discuss more stock ideas and strategies towards the last half an hour of trade today. Stay with us.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe for multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
Celebrate 32 years of leadership in business news with Business Today. From the groundbreaking AI cover of Sundar Pichai to PM Modi's exclusive on G20, we redefine headlines. Now our 32nd anniversary issue explores India 2029, the 5-year agenda, with industry titans sharing exclusive insights. So, just BT it for unparalleled perspectives. Business Today. 32 years of leadership, innovation, and business brilliance. Subscribe now. In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today.
Welcome back. You're watching Market Today on Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra, with me is Shel Bhatnagar, and we are now in conversation with Ratnesh Goel, Head of Technical Research, Arihant Capital Markets. Good afternoon, Ratnesh, and good to have you with us on Business Today. The market's looking better than the morning trade for sure. 0.5% of gains coming in on the Nifty. The entire banking space is buzzing in trade, be it the private side or the PSU side. There are some gains coming in on the PSU banks, where others are getting punished after a whole host of gains that we have seen in the past. Which is the space in the markets that's attracting you at the current levels?
Very good afternoon. Yeah, definitely. As of now, we are seeing the short covering especially in the Bank Nifty. because the Bank Nifty was underperforming from the last couple of days. Now, if you look at the daily chart of the Bank Nifty, which are here I am quoting the price of the Bank Nifty future. So it is hovering around the 200 moving average on the daily chart. Yesterday we have seen that in the intraday it has broke the 200 moving average line, but is still holding the 200 moving average line on the closing basis. So and today also it hold the 200 moving average line. So overall, we can see we can sense that the market may be some consolidation here at the current level. And I want to some. Here interesting I can see some interesting data on the option chain data. If you look at that in the today's trading session, in the call writer cover their position in the put writing is building there like on the base of 40,500 level and the 45,000 level. So I'm looking that the put writer is active and the call writer covering their position. So maybe tomorrow Bank Nifty expiry could be very interesting. So we have to watch this tomorrow expiry of the Bank Nifty. And the counter specific, definitely the today's holding the IT sectors holding the ground like Wipro's giving the good breakout. So Wipro, we may see the some target around the 525 level with the stop loss of 500 level.
Wipro is the second counter that we've referred to since morning, and this is a broader theme that's playing out across the market in terms of gain in open interest, a rise in price, and therefore you see counters like Oracle Financial Services at a record high, strong move coming in Coforge, again in the cash counters, Birla Soft, KPIT Tech, all of them doing fantastically well. This is the second or the third instance that we are referring to as far as Wipro is concerned. Good afternoon to you, Ratneshji. Let's also discuss a couple of stocks in the railway space. Anything that catches your fancy, which traders may have already, how should I say, bought heavily into today?
Very good afternoon. Railway, like we have seen the very good profit booking in on the railway counter from the higher level. But I must say that IRFC has taken the good support level. It has taken the the upward gap area, which is around the 130 level. So we have seen today's low to 127. So I believe that we are seeing the good volume activity today also. So in IRFC, some technical bounce here more expected up to the 165 level.
All right. So that's as far as the railway space is concerned. Let me detail some of the earnings that have come about. Bombay Burma has reported its earnings, where the consolidated profit has jumped from 157 odd crores to 457 odd crore rupees on a year-on-year basis. Even the revenues have seen an uptick from 4280 crores to 4337 crores. The stock has now jumped sharply, about 8 odd % higher in trade on the earnings. A very strong spike is what you can see. And this is despite the margin slightly softer from 18.7% to 18.4% as of now on the company. Do you track this stock, Ratnesh, and can you tell us what your view is on Bombay Burma?
Yeah, definitely. The BPTs is showing the continuous high formation even in in the profit booking. We did not see any kind of the major correction in this stock, and as of now, just now we are seeing the good volume activity in the last 15 minutes. So I believe that this stock is still have some potential to go upside. So if someone holding this stock, I believe that can hold this stock with the stop loss of 1650 with the for the target 1880.
Okay.
So it's the earnings momentum, Sakshi, that's drawing blood in the markets. Let's look at another sector that's doing pretty well, Borosil Renewables. Again, the theme of the solar play getting reflected fairly strongly in the markets. Borosil Renewable at the moment, Sakshi, is at 551.65, and again it's a recoup. This is of course the counter bouncing off its 200-day moving average. Remember, I think it was the day after 22nd of January when Mr. Modi had mentioned that 1 crore homes should have solar rooftops, and that is the rally that began exactly at the same price somewhere in the vicinity of 500 rupees or so, and then we have a correction over the last 7 odd days. Now the recoup has happened today. Also moving in strength is Sterling Wilson, which is better known as SW Solar. The counter was early morning up at about 568, now slipping back to 544. So this is the theme that's running as far as the markets are concerned. Let's look at the FNO space and try and find out any outperformances that we can look in terms of how rankings and trades are. So of course we've discussed Voltas in the morning, in the afternoon. So actually one more stock which is running very strongly on earnings is Siemens. This is 2.2% higher, and with a 7% uptick in open interest. Let's get Ratnesh's view into this counter. Ratnesh, Siemens for you, this is again reclaiming its lost glory, the run up happening on strong numbers. What are the charts telling you? I think this is again a fresh high. Yes, 43.15.
Yeah, today it's make a fresh high, and despite the same thing, that despite in the correction in the market, we did not see any kind of this correction, and it's holding the very short-term moving averages line. So I believe that the Siemens is also the good bet and outperforming the market, even in the indices in the sector also. So if someone holding this stock from the lower level, I believe that still they should hold with the proper stop loss, and the stop loss will come around the 4100 level. So with this stop loss, I think they should hold for the upside target. In the short term, I'm looking this stock around the 4500 to 4600 level.
Okay, so that's the view coming in on Siemens for you at this point in time. Let's again look at some of the other pockets that are moving. I think you were mentioning the power space, Shell, and Power Mech is one company that's come out with the earnings. Here the revenues have gone up from 909 crores to 1107 crores odd. The EBITDA has improved to 133 crores from 102 crores. What we've also seen is that the stock, it had reacted positively, but now is seen slipping away in trade after the earnings again. Power Mech is one company that Mayuresh Joshi had discussed with us last time he had come, and he had chosen this as his one of the top picks in this space as well. The earnings look okay on the revenue, profits and the EBITDA front, but I think there is a margin downtick that we are looking at, which has perhaps led to this immediate profit booking on the stock as well. Power Mech, do you track, Ratnesh, and can you tell us your view?
Yeah, definitely. Power Mech is still not showing any kind of weakness on the chart, but definitely a little bit stretch from the short-term moving average. If you plot the 50-day or something like this, so it a little bit stretch from that level. So I believe that as of now, for fresh entry, we should wait for some time till the level around 4900 or 4950. So that could be the good level for the fresh entry. Now here, from that level, risk reward ratio will be in the favor. So if we get the level around 4950, at that time the stop loss will come around the 4800 level. From that, once again we can see the bounce up to the 5300 level. So my view is that for the fresh entry, as of now, wait for the some time.
Almost 3:10 p.m. Sakshi. Let's do a detour on the broader indices. Nifty 21,750 for you, showing some decent strength today, 129 points higher. It's built up to its early morning gains. In fact, for the first 15 minutes, the Nifty was in pain. It had touched a low of 21,550, and from then on, you've seen a 200-point uptick at the current prices. The Bank Nifty has had a nice bounce from 200-day moving average after a very, very painful fortnight. So 45,520 for you, 634. The Nifty, as we know, in the morning was at a 2-week low, and the Bank Nifty substantially below that. That's a lot of strength that's returned in the market from fairly low levels. And Sakshi, in the last 20 minutes, I think you'll see some magic happening on IRFC. The counters already a top performer in the morning, and now I think the percentage rise would be substantial. Just let me try and find that out for you. At the moment, the percentage rise is 15%, and the volume is 3,154 crores. This is something good. Any chances, Ratnesh, that you might see a 20% uptick on IRFC today?
It will be very difficult to say because there is a lot of supply around the 156, 157 level. So if it cross that in the coming 5 minutes, so we may see the some 20% lock in this counter. So 156, 157 we have to watch. After that, we may see the upper side, upper lock.
Okay. That's as far as IRFC is concerned.
Sakshi, I think we'll keep on watching.
Yes,
yes. We'll keep on watching, Sakshi, IRFC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 deals have happened for between 2.5 crores per transaction to 57 lakhs. So that's a fairly substantial amount. And I'll also mention something interesting to you as far as IRFC is concerned. The reason I point this out is because was most active. Okay, this is the third most active traded counter at about 3,170 crores, and in terms of the buzz in its volume, it's about 2.75 times. So 2.75 times the traded volume accompanied by a 15% rise is what starts a rally for the next couple of days. Actually, we'll keep an eye out on this one.
Let's look at Paytm again. It's now 10% down in trade. In the morning, we had seen few downticks coming in. 10% down at 380 now. Shell, I believe you were mentioning that the earlier low was 392, whether it will break that. So it's certainly broken that one. Now at 380.
Yes.
So this is an important one to watch out for now. This is after Macquarie, slashed the target prices on Paytm, raising concerns of a mass customer exodus as their biggest worry at this point in time. And of course, questions on the business model and on the lending space as far as Paytm is concerned. They've given a bear case scenario target of even 180 rupees as well. So that's perhaps the big trigger point that's led to this sharp downfall. Ratnesh, do you track Paytm at all? And what would your advice be now to investors? Once again, we have a 10% down tick, a double-digit down.
No, definitely. We continue advising to avoid this stock even from the listing day because there is a as of continuous it is outperforming after the listing, and there is a no sign of the strength on the chart. So I believe that definitely it's very difficult decision to sell out the stock at the lifetime low for the investor. But I believe that there is still a chance that if we book the loss and shift their money in some other outperforming stock, so they could recover their loss. So I believe that as of now, take some hard decision and exit from this stock.
Okay, Sakshi, I think we need to mark another counter from the railway space, and that's IRCTC. I think it's the earnings boy today, and the counter is at 913.90. The low was 877 rupees. It's up 1.5%. Let's see how it goes. Another stock that I'd like to mark is NLC India. Just look at the day's low, 211.90. Now it is at 243. So it's a 30 rupee move, which roughly translates to about a 10%, 11% rise from the low. So these are the kind of granularity that is coming in the PSU basket, which that you have a high beta counter, done fairly well for a month, corrected very sharply, and there is heavy buying at current levels. Even Geo Finance, 274.25, 1% higher. Strong moves coming in.
Okay, and like you mentioned, NSE India, NTPC is again on the move. Let's look at that one. In fact, there is news flow that suggests that NTPC has mentioned the first part of capacity of 14 megawatt out of the 40 megawatt Ayodhya solar PV project of unit is declared on commercial operation already. So the first part is ready, and therefore some ticks coming in on this one on NTPC as well right now. Okay, Ratnesh, we'll ask you now, which are the top stocks that you may be looking at positively now, maybe in a new segment that we haven't discussed as of now?
Well, apart from this, IT sector, I am bullish on the some GMR Infra. So GMR Infra is continuously showing the outperformance stock, and I believe that it has tested the the upward gap area. From there. It has taken the good support level. So I believe that investors should keep eye on the GMR Infra. GMR Infra look good for me, and the risk reward ratio is also favor. So keep the stop loss around the 78 rupees from here, and I believe that we can see the target around the 120 to 125 level.
Okay.
Sakshi, let's mark Wipro.
Okay. Wipro is actually 2% higher in trade at a 512 odd levels, and you've been looking at the IT space positively, Ratnesh. What could be the next targets for this one? It's now at a day's high, 512.3 currently on Wipro for you. And of course, this is one stock that has been constantly on the up move. If we look at the last 5 days, last 1 month, let's look at, of course, 3.5% move is what we've seen, but last 6 months is when 23% of a surge has really come in on this stock. Tell us, do you see this stock favorably?
Yeah, in the starting of the show, as I mentioned that Wipro could be the good bet, and it will outperform the IT sector. So 525 was my target. So still I intake on this target of 525, 530 will be the good. This could be the target for the Wipro in the coming 1 or 2 days. Once it cross the 530, then revise their stop loss and for the target 560. So first target will be 525 to 530 between this, and then 560 second target.
Sakshi, again, we'll mark a couple of stocks. IRFC, now at 154.45. It's gained a rupee since I marked it. This is something which is moving on very, very heavy volumes. Again, 3 or 4 block deals of fairly decent sizes. 3.8 crore, no, 2.26 crores, 60 lakhs, 63 lakhs, 1.5 crore, 2.76 crore. So strength again coming back into this one. Let's look at the percentage gain on IRFC for you. It's now 17%. We have 12 minutes for the market to close, and we have 3 percentage points left. Well, this is all, how should I say, khayali pulao, but let us see how it moves. And Taj GVK I had marked when the counter was 9% higher. It is now moving 12% higher. Wow. Very, very strong volumes coming in. It's now at a record high. Look at Bank of Baroda, Sakshi. This is a low of 249 rupees 20 paisa in the morning, and it's moved to 260 rupees. Fairly strong move coming in Bank of Baroda as well. IRFC, I can't take my eyes off this one. Now we have 156 rupees. The upper circuit is 159.60. Let's see what happens. 156.05. Sakshi.
Okay, one more stock, I think, KIOCL, that came out with its earnings about an hour ago, and the stock is shot up in trade. We are looking at a 10% up move on this one, KIOCL. It posted about a 39 odd crore rupees of a profit in Q3. And this is against a loss that it had reported of 34 odd crores in the previous year's quarter. The revenues have also risen to about 561 crores from 307 crores earlier that it had recorded in the last year's same quarter. Would you look at KIOCL's chart and tell us how do you see this stock right now at 410, Ratnesh?
Well, KISL is some multiple supply zone around the 425 to 435 level. So I believe that that could be a very huge supply we can see in this stock. So if anyone holding this stock, can I suggest that the book their profit around 425 to 435 in the range. Once it close above the 435, then we can revise the target for the 460 level. So as of now, I will advise that around the 425, 435 book some profit.
Ah, okay. Okay, let's look at the markets now. We are 10 minutes away from the day's close, and you can actually see a lot of moving parts in the markets. About 37 stocks on the Nifty are in the green of the 50 stocks that are listed on the Nifty exchange, and the Nifty Bank is the one that's showing uptake about 1.4% of a surge coming in. All the cylinders firing for the Nifty Bank, be it private sector, PSU banks or the financial services, barring the auto index which is flat and the metal space which is down 2%. Rest of the sectors have all pulled up in trade in a very strong smart move. And of course, we're looking at a whole host of stocks even from the PSU basket that are moving up now. Of course, we pointed out NHPC that's now up 6.5% at 86 rupees, 4.5% of a move for Coal India. HAL that moved up 2.7% higher. RDC, NTPC, Container Corporation of India. We also have Bharat Electronics and even oil and gas, natural gas, that's ONGC. All of them buzzing in trade as far as the PSU space is also concerned as of now. Let's look at the broader markets. A few of the movers over here. Very strong move coming in on Aegis Logistics, 9% higher in trade, 399 as of now. On Aegis Logistics, Ratnesh, would you have a view?
Yeah, definitely. Like GSCM, we have. So it is very interesting chart, and today we are seeing the good volume activity with the good strong bull candle. So I believe that GSCM is a very good chart, and it is well on the breakouts of around the 410. We will see the good breakout in this stock. I believe that investors still hold this stock with the stop loss 353. Above 410, we can see the level up to the 450, 480 level.
Okay.
So actually, let's spend a little bit more time on what the Nifty as well as the F&O space as well as the broader indices are telling us about the sentiment and the health of the market as of now. The Nifty, a good move coming in, closing near its day's highs almost now about 21,735. This is a very, very strong uptick coming from 21,550. So a 200-point gain from day's low is a substantial up move at a time when the index was at a 2-week low. So probably a fresh up move may have started after a fairly decent correction. At yesterday's close, 450 points had been shaved off from the most recent high, which was 22,072. From then it slipped to 21,550 and then this uptick. Sakshi, we track 19 indices, 17, actually 18 of them are in the green, led by the Nifty Financial Services Index, the Nifty Banking Index and the Nifty PSU Bank Index. No surprise there, the Nifty Bank was at a 200 DMA and today we've seen a sharp bounce, 567 points higher, 45,445 for you, and 2% gain on Axis Bank, 2% gain on ICICI Bank, 1.5% gain on Kotak, and SBI up 0.5%. What is HDFC Bank doing? Flat at about 1392. Reliance up almost 1%, 2930, and Infosys flat at about 1683. So fairly strong moves coming in the index heavyweight. You've marked the open as well as the advanced decline ratio. Strong moves in the NSE 500 basket. This is the broader index that I track for sentiment purposes, 19,787 for you. The good part is that advances outnumber decliners, 282 stocks out of 500 in the green, 215 in the red. I also want to mark record highs. It's within F&O, Sakshi, we have 4 plus 4 plus 1, 9 stocks at record highs. Oracle Finance, Siemens. Then you have 3 from the pharma space. Cipla 1.7% higher. Apollo Hospitals 1.7% higher. Abbott India 1.5% higher. Then you have Dr. Reddy's and Zydus Life. So 7 stocks from the pharma space are at a record high today. And then of course you have Bajaj Auto and Reliance. I think Bosch numbers are out,
Yeah.
Sakshi, with a very high dividend. Maybe you want to mark them.
So consolidated profit here now has increased from 319 crores in the last year's quarter to 518 odd crore rupees. So that's a jump on a year-on-year basis. The revenues have gone up from 3,660 odd crores to 4,205 crores. Again, this is a year-on-year number that we're looking at. Both the profits and the revenues have jumped on a year-on-year basis. There is a 205 rupee interim dividend that has been announced by the company, a huge dividend over there. The stock is surging very, very sharply, 26,240 right now, 4% higher. A sudden spike that has come in on the company as well. On the stock, it's a huge reaction. Bosch is a very high ticket item, but if you track this, Ratnesh, we've seen a very sharp spike come in now, 5.5% high in trade, 26,500 and thereabouts. How would you really look at the stock? It's 27,049 now.
Yeah, definitely. After the announcement of result, I think that we have seen a very sharp spike in this counter. And the interesting point is that we are seeing the good volume activity also now. So the stock is moving with the volume. So I believe that it is going to break its all-time high level, the high level around something
Yeah.
like 28,000 level. So definitely we can see in the next few weeks, we can see the new high in this Bosch. So still I advise to hold this stock if someone holding in lucky one.
Okay, this is a record high level for Bosch now, 7.5% higher, 27,100. The dividend is 205 rupees per share. So many of the stocks are just less than the dividend that is being given out by this company in in this quarter itself. Huge spike, 7.5% higher. It's not stopping, 27,145. Very, very strong up move coming in on Bosch. And interestingly, I think, Shell, this is the only country where Bosch is listed, right?
Yes, Sakshi, what a beautiful point you've mentioned. And I'm sure, the company is doing all it can to get it delisted, but people will not let it off. This was earlier known as Myco, and they used to make spark plugs. They still do. And they are the biggest player in the automation space as far as the automobile is concerned. Record high here now, and 26,955 driven very sharply by the earnings, and of course a dividend payout of 205 rupees per share against a face value of 10. So this is something very exciting. Bosch is present in 80 countries across the world, and it's listed only and only in India. Sakshi.
Absolutely. Okay, let's, we will be winding down the markets in just 2 minutes from now. Before we let you go, Ratnesh, anything that you're looking forward to for tomorrow, and any particular stops, anything that you would like to do as a BTST or an STBT? Ratnesh, we lost your audio.
Sorry for that.
Yeah.
GMR Infra, as I mentioned, that GMR Infra is still look good for the BTST. And apart from that, in the BT counter, that IT stock, the Take Mahindra, I am looking that it is going to take the support now, and it will outperform in the IT sector. And also, Take Mahindra also look for the BTST.
Okay, all right. GMR Airports Infra and Tech Mahindra for BTSC trades coming in. Thanks a lot, Ratnesh, for being with us on this edition. Okay, we are closing in on the closing point of the market. So 108 points higher in trade for the Nifty. It's comfortable above 21,700 right now. 21,725 being seen. The Nifty Bank up about 1% or so, 529 points higher. It's clearly the banking space that was driving in the front seat in trade today. And of course, apart from it, several other sectors also picked up pace. So healthcare, consumer durables, IT, some gains coming in about 0.5% or so. Of course, the PSU banking space hogged the limelight. We did have a lot of railway stocks buzzing in trade, especially IRFC. Let's look at where exactly that has ended, because that was something that Shell was pointing out constantly in the move that we have tracked all through the day. 17.2% higher, short of 3% from the 20% circuit that we were asking Ratnesh to tell us whether that will happen. 155.8 IRFC, that's the railway counter for you. And of course, a whole host of other moves coming in, that we tracked. I think that GVK was the other one, Shell, that you pointed out. That was a very, very smart move.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so Taj GVK also ending 17.2%. Both of these counters ending at days high, 17.2%. Smart move coming in. Of course, we managed to take Bosch right before the stock markets ended with the earnings coming through, 7% higher in trade at record high levels as well. The PSU stocks, NHPC, Coal India, REC, HAL, these were in momentum in trade today. And apart from it, we did see the Nifty counters like ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, HDFC Life, Wipro, Apollo Hospitals as among the top movers. On the downside, let's see which are the stocks that didn't participate. I think about just about a few stocks, I think just 12 odd stocks that were in the down, in the red in trade today. So Hindalco, Grasim, Ultratech Cement, Divi's Laboratories, BPCL, Titan. These are the top 5 losers as far as the Nifty is concerned. Shall anything else that say before we wind down?
Sakshi, I think today will be the deciding day of how sentiment is tracked in India. We will be looking out for the delivery statistics on all these counters, SGVN, NBCC, BHEL, IRFC, RVNL. This high beta, low ticket sized pack which has occupied the mind space, it's corrected very sharply over the last 4 trading sessions. And today, some of the frontline stocks, especially in the railway space, have given a very, very sharp signal to the most aggressive of traders to sort of take positions. We've mentioned RVNL, IRFC in particular, but across the board in the 70-75 stocks that we see, the frontline quality counters where valuations are still sensible have shown a very, very decent uptick, Sakshi. And tonight we'll study delivery patterns and we'll join our viewers back again on a wonderful Wednesday morning to talk about them.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Shell, for being with us on this special edition. And with that, viewers, we will wind down to 127 points higher on the Nifty at 21,743. Looks like the dips have been bought into, but will this sustain is the big question. And we will come back with all those answers tomorrow morning. So do join us for the opening session tomorrow as well. Until then, the action continues on Business Today Television. So don't go anywhere. Stay logged on. You can like and subscribe to our channel as well. Many thanks for tuning in.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
Celebrate 32 years of leadership in business news with Business Today. From the groundbreaking AI cover of Sundar Pichai to PM Modi's exclusive on G20, we redefine headlines. Now our 32nd anniversary issue explores India 2029, the 5-year agenda with industry titans sharing exclusive insights. So, just BT it for unparalleled perspectives. Business Today. 32 years of leadership, innovation, and business brilliance. Subscribe now. In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today.
What are the stocks under consideration that you may want to purchase?
Yeah, good morning, Shelly. I think there's still some leg to go before you can put a finger on your specific likings. And I mean, if you look at the way the stock prices were moving and the way the earnings are coming, it was like six sixes in six ball. That kind of a run rate was happening. I personally did a aggregate of around 340 companies outside of Nifty basket.